Continuous failure of your chains might have brought you here. I bet the chains of your chainsaw have let you down one time too many. And you want things to change, so you're looking for a neat new replacement. Well, the frustration escalates when you tend to keep on working with that broken or damaged chain. Don't worry about this anymore. We've got you covered. Number 1. Oregon 72 RD72G Ripping. Even the product that came second is from Oregon, and when we put it up against the one that came first, it's frightening how similar the performance is. Let's get into the details. So, what makes this one interesting? The vibration reduction on this one was very smooth. It doesn't even compare to the others. Maybe their 25 reduced vibration claims were only about this one. Apart from that, it's quite similar to number 1 on the list. I mean, they're from the same company, so there's that. But we actually had higher expectations from this one. I mean, it's charging a higher price when you put it up against our number 1 choice. So the higher price has to mean that this chain is better than the cheaper ones, right? Well, wrong. I mean, this isn't the most expensive thing on the list, but it still should have been priced lower, in our opinion. When it comes to the parts, all we saw was standard. The cutting parts were decent, and the teeth were roughly spaced. There is one slight change, however. Number 2. Oregon 20 LPZ80G Super. The first one we have is from Oregon. This one just beat the rest by the slightest of margins, but we had to place it on the top spot regardless. Read on to find out why this one's on top. If you ask us to name one thing that makes this unique, it's the value for money you get. I mean, we tried to put others on the list, but the price just beat anyone else. Apart from that, there are a few more things you might like. They say that you can use this chain with 4 different recommended chainsaw sizes. We have to admit that this is appreciable. They call the blades blued cutters. This is apparently going to give an extra layer of protection against corrosion. Well, we only had the chance to use this chain for a month, and the chain didn't develop any rust patterns. But that doesn't mean we're guaranteeing that it will not rust further down the line. I mean, they can talk all day about improved strength. Number 3. Archer 20 Ripping Chainsaw Chain. Finally, we have a brand that isn't Oregon. This one from Archer made it into the list above the rest of the chains that we tested. So let's talk about things we liked and didn't like about this one. The Australians got lucky with this one. It's said to fit most still models, but we still had to put this to the test. Pun intended. Now, what do you think is the unique part about this one? Well, for us, the odd number of drive links seemed unusual. 81 isn't really a number we're used to seeing in these areas. The word we were looking for is satisfactory. It's not remarkable results, just decent. And most of the time, that's all you need, right? Number 4. Oregon 72 RD114G Ripping Chain. Coming in at 3rd place is another one from Oregon. I mean, we are not biased towards this brand since you might be wondering. The others just did not come close. As for coming close, this one went neck and neck with the second one on the list. But it had a couple of shortcomings which we will be getting to in a moment. There is one thing that makes this stand out from the rest. It's the Lubri link tie straps. Similar technology is used on the top one on the list too. This is functional as it keeps the lube on the chain for a prolonged period, so you're eventually saving lubricant costs. Apart from that, there are a couple of other good things to talk about when it comes to this one. I mean, they pull the same card here as the first one with the 25 reduced vibrations. I mean, we've tested other ripping chains. I repeat, the difference is not very dramatic, and most of the time, you might not even notice the difference, but there is a reduction in vibrations. Number 5. Woodland PRO 36 Ripping Chain Loop. The last one that made it into our list is from Woodland PRO. This loop of ripping chain has a few tricks up its sleeve, but they were not enough to carry it further up the list. Let's talk about the details. If you're wondering what's so unique about this one, well, it's easy to sharpen. We struggled to sharpen the others with even the electric sharpeners, but this one was not so difficult. Other than that, the compatibility was okay. They say that the model fits multiple models of still including the 24, the MS341, and the A20 electric. We only had the MS341 lying around while testing this out, so we hooked it up with that one. The maximum bar size that you might expect to use is 36 inches. You can cut it down with the crafty tools if you have a chainsaw with a shorter bar. We had quite a few gripes about this one, so we tested it even further to see if the problems were a one-time occurrence or not. To our surprise, this one has some flaws. That is about it from us. We are glad to be able to help you out with your buying decision. While you might not even buy one of the 5 that we recommend, this page should give you tips. Always compare the pros and cons and see if you're actually getting what you're paying for. And of course, you do not want a ripping chain for your chainsaw if you're not going to be using this for specific projects. All 5 of the products that we have shown here were selected based on multiple criteria. So if you're getting any one of them, you can probably get the best ripping chain for your chainsaw.